Welcome to another season of Conversations with Gentle Warriors. This is season 5. My name is Bhavana Issar, and I'm the founder and CEO of Caregiver Saathi. In this season, we continue to shine the light on what we now call the invisible backbone of our society. Family caregivers. Often, our strength as caregivers goes unseen. Yet it forms the foundation of the well being for our loved ones and even communities. Through these conversations, we explore stories of courage, resilience, and quiet compassion. We'll hear about the challenges caregivers face, the systemic gaps that need attention, and the extraordinary ways in which caregiving shapes not just families, but workplaces and society. Gentle Warriors is not just about telling stories, it is about recognizing caregiving as an act of profound strength and about sparking reflection, dialogue, and change. Care is at the very core of our being. Join us as we celebrate these unseen, unheard, invisible heroes and uncover what it truly means to be a gentle warrior. Greetings of the day. My name is Bhavana Issar, and I have founded Caregiver Saathi. I believe storytelling is powerful for us to be able to tell our stories, not just because it helps us feel seen, but also because listening to other stories tells us that we are not alone, inspires us, gives us ideas, and suggests to us what we can do differently or better, not just for ourselves, but our loved ones. Conversations with gentle warriors is something very close to my heart, something that we at Caregiver Saathi started years ago and got us deep insights into the journeys and lives of caregivers. We come from a country where caregiving is invisible, unrecognized, underappreciated, and underserved. Not just our country, frankly, it's a universal global phenomena. Also because caregiving is mostly done by women, and women are encouraged to be invisible and in the background. We believe that caregivers need to be in the limelight, and we need to shine the light on them. As we shine the light on caregivers, we see ourselves in them, and because we are all caregivers, if not today, at some point we will be. I've had many lovely conversations with the guest today, and today I have with me Panna Prasad, who has had a very, very fascinating journey and perspective to caregiving. And it is my absolute delight to welcome you, Panna, for a conversation with the gentle warrior that you are.
Thank you so much, Bhavna. It's really an honor to be here. Truly. Because, uh, yes, I also want to be heard, like you rightly mentioned. And most people who are not caregivers or who have not been on that side of the table do not really understand that people need to talk, speak out loud. Yeah.
So, Panna, let's start from the very beginning.
Okay.
Who are you and what's your story?
So I am a warrior, and I call myself a warrior, not a survivor, because as we all know, we all go through very different phases of life, right?
Mhm.
And I have been through my share. It used to really, really hurt me. There was a lot of trauma, PTSD attached to it. But now I have kind of grown out of it because it happened. And finally, I learned that the lessons that were being imparted, you know, I have finally learned those lessons. So now, finally, at the age of what, 52, 53, I'm starting to fall in love with myself as a person. I'm an amazing person, right? As we all are. But we do not realize our potential because the world keeps telling us that we should be what we are or we are not, right? They define us, we don't define ourselves most of the time. Now I am beginning to define myself, and it's seriously fantastic. My journey has been, I have been a caregiver for my mother-in-law, for both my parents, for my father-in-law right now, and for my pets. Okay, so in the Indian context or in the family context, everyone. I have been kind of a caregiver, even my maids and their daughters. Uh, so what happened was my mom-in-law had a stroke, and she was bedridden for a year and a half. This was when my son was very small. He was about 1 year old, just past one,
Mm.
I think. So we had nurses at home, we had people to look after her, but they are not, I found they are not dedicated enough, because she used to be in diapers, and they wouldn't clean her. Okay, or they would be waiting for, okay, just like 2 diapers a day we'll use and stuff like that. And so that was not something that I was very comfortable with. I used to come back home at about 8:30 in the night, and the house used to be stinking up. It used to be actually smelling like a public washroom. And my mother-in-law was a very, very clean and pious lady. Okay.
Oh my
And
God.
very, she was a yoga instructor, she was an instructor with art of living, she was following another swami,
Mm.
and she used to go get up at 4:30 in the morning, travel on bus to give sessions to the students. And also she was an amazing woman. uh,
Mm.
we did have a mother-in-law daughter-in-law kind of a relationship, but she was very progressive. And to see her completely bedridden, where she can't even do anything herself, she is being fed by a tube and no one is cleaning her. Okay, so that was the point of time when I left my job.
Mm.
And I was working with a good company. I could have continued there, and I could have, career wise, I could have moved higher. But I left my job because another thing was, what is my son learning at that age? Okay, that people who are not well should just be left alone. And my husband was going through a lot of guilt, because obviously he couldn't leave his job, and he had to continue working, and he also couldn't see his mother like that. So he would rather be out of the house most of the time then come home and face all that. So, anyways, I started taking care of her. I started giving her a bath every morning, picking her up, putting her in a wheelchair, taking her to the bathroom, and giving her a nice wash with a massage and everything, oil massage after that, so that she doesn't get bed sores. Keep changing her side. So that was a very tough. It was like I was put into the deep end. Suction tubes. All the room was a hospital room essentially for her for about a year. Every month, 5 to 10 to 15 days, she used to be in the ICU. So it
Oh.
was extremely tough. It was a very difficult time. Now, interestingly, my sister-in-law is a pulmonologist in the US, and her husband is a psychiatrist. Okay, and they came and they told both of us, कि either you put them in a nursing home, both the parents, okay, and
Mm.
go on the weekends and check them out, but let them be there, or you start taking marriage counseling, because this is going to lead to divorce. They were very clear about it, and I spoke to my parents about it. Okay, और मैंने तो किया था as के mama, what Didi said. I went with that mode. And so my both my parents just looked at me and they said, you know what, Panna, if you can do it to them, you can do it to us. Okay, tomorrow when we are in that situation, you'll put us in a nursing home also, and come over on Sunday for 1 hour, say hi, hello, go back home, and that's it. Your responsibility is done. So that was the time I decided that that is not happening ever. Avinash would never have agreed to that, anyways. Okay, and I told my sister-in-laws not to mention it ever again. But seeing mummy, like from being such an active person to being completely dependent, where she couldn't even express herself. She couldn't, she stopped talking, she didn't have a voice, she was not in her senses much. It was a very difficult period, and finally at the end I just told her, okay, just let go. I mean, things will, be okay. You just let go. She was very attached to her family, very attached. Her brothers, her sisters, her nephew, nieces, her kids. She was extremely attached to them. So she let go. It took me quite a few years to get out of that. In fact, when I opened my first business, I named my business after her. So that was in her name, okay? Because she always believed in me. I mean, we used to have our Sas Bahu wala chick chick, but she always told me, "Ki when you do something, you'll do it better than my daughters." Okay, so she was always in that motivating space for me.
What's
So,
her name?
but it took me a long time to get out of that trauma
What's
because
her
that
name,
was my
Maya?
first. Uh,
What's her name? You named your business after her. What's
Shakun
her
Beauty
name?
Salon. Shakuntala. Her name was Shakuntala. She used to be called Shakun. So it is still there on 18th Main, Indranagar. So I sold it, but the new owners kept the name and they've continued with that. So it's still there. And
Interesting.
so that was, but yes, there was a lot of guilt attached to it. I saw the way, people around her who supposedly loved her, who she lived for, her sisters and her family, her close family, how they treated her. They would apparently, come over to help out, and the moment they
Hmm.
would come, they would be like, now that we are here, we might as well visit Mysore, or we might as well see South India, or the temples, or whatever. So it was, so you kind of start seeing people's realities. And my
Hmm.
experience has been then you start treating them like that. You don't bend down to society pressures, ki, this person is older than you, this person is your in-laws or whatever. No, they have shown their true colors, you treat them the same way. Okay.
Right.
That was my first experience. Then as I was coming out of that, my mom got diagnosed with ovarian cancer,
Oh my
fourth
God.
stage, and it was extremely sudden. A week before that, we had gone on a family holiday with my entire family and all of us to Rajasthan. So we were roaming all over. We had a van and we were driving everywhere: Jaipur, Udaipur, this place, that place. Nothing. She was doing everything. She comes back
Hmm.
home and she feels that her uterus has collapsed. And when they went to the gynecologist, they said, no, this is fourth stage, ovarian.
Wow.
And I mean, I know it's your parents. I know it's life and death. I know it's cancer. Okay, I know anything can happen. But my father calls me up and he says, "Ki Panna, Mama is gone. I mean, cancer fourth stage. So you better come because any day it's gonna happen." So I pack all my sober clothes, so Safed and the whites and this and that, and I go, okay. And I see Mama, and my mom is like, that's not how it works. Okay, now the treatments will start. And she was an army nurse, so she knew. So I said, okay, fine. So I spent a week, I come back. Again, after a month, my father again panics and he says, oh, she's gone. The chemo is really bad and I think she's going to die. But come, come, come. I again pack the same suitcase with the same clothes and I take it. And this happened 3 times over a course of 3 months. And the final
Wow.
time, I said, you know what? I'm leaving these clothes here so that if anything happens, at least I don't have to ferry back and forth. Okay, so I left those clothes over there at their place. But she got diagnosed, and my father started saying he is not feeling well and he thinks he has liver cancer.
Okay.
Okay, this was within a month or so about, and they started having a lot of fights. Why?
Hmm.
Because Mama was like, now I'm getting all the attention and you want it. So
Okay.
finally, and he had pancreatic, and he was on treatment for that, a benign tumor, pancreatic, and he had
Hmm.
just gotten his checkups done a month back. There was nothing; everything was normal.
Hmm.
He got diagnosed with fourth stage liver. This was within 3 months. So both my parents are now going through treatment. We are running. My one sister is in the US, other one was at Noida. I was here, and no brother. So they finally sat us down. Okay, whoever comes to look after us, will be the property would be divided like that. So me and my older sister refused because we had life settled over here, and my youngest would always run because she was in Noida and they were in Mohali, right? So first person, she was the one, her family. So she decided to move, and they had a harrowing time. So whenever I used to go, now this is very very interesting. My parents were going through chemotherapy. They had surgeries done and everything, and they obviously, like all most Punjabis, are very opinionated. Okay, so they would make her life miserable. Typically,
Mm.
okay, you are doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong, why are you giving us masaledar food, we can't have it, and all that. And she would like, I'm just boiling the food, I'm not even putting salt, what are you talking about? So no one is trying to understand what the issue is. And so I used to go, I used to blast my parents, ke, she's looking after you, she's moved her entire family here, how can you just treat her like that? Matlab, ek ka chemo khatam hota tha, the others chemo used to start side by side, everything was going on, they had multiple cycles, and I used to be very very upset with my parents, ke, treat her right, she's looking after you, her husband is looking after you, don't treat them like they're doing nothing, right?
Mm.
But I couldn't understand what my parents meant till I actually got diagnosed and started undergoing chemo. So what happens in chemo is, your throat gets blistered, your complete inside is completely blistered. So even if you want to have water, room temperature, you need to have a painkiller. Everything is going to burn. So till I did not fill those shoes, I had no clue what they were talking about. And
Mm.
that was a very difficult phase, looking after them. But then I got onto the other side of the table. And I was a very nice patient, very good, very understanding, very positive. I cut out people left, right, and center from my life who were not positive. Because, see, when you're going through something, you want a lot of positivity around to keep your motivation high, right? And I have always said this, cancer, the treatments are all the same. Yes, the body, every individual is different body wise, but this is here where you fight it. After the first two chemotherapies or surgeries or whatever, it's all a mental game. If this is not strong, your immunity drops drastically, you will start getting infections, and it will be extremely tough for you. Extremely. Because people keep asking me, Panna, is chemo painful? See, not when it's happening. We
Mm.
used to do, me and my Avinash used to do all kinds of shopping and stuff the day of the chemo. Matlab, hospital se discharge, and we used to go off. We are test driving cars because he wanted to buy a new car, and we were, looking at houses. We were doing anything and everything because after 2 days it starts. And then it becomes very, very difficult for the patient and for the people who are looking after her, right? You can't do anything much. You can't get off the
Mm.
bed. When you
Mm.
get off the bed, you are on literally eggshells because your sole of the feet, all the nerve endings hurt, the fingers, the toes, the soles, everything. So you can't just get off the bed and start walking. You take 30 seconds for the nerves to settle down, the pain to stop, so that you can actually go off to the washroom. Okay.
Mm.
And the mood swings. Now, like I said, even when my parents were going through the same thing, we couldn't understand. So, how do we expect little kids in a house to understand what your mother or your father is going through? But
Mm.
they were very supportive. They used to come back from school, ask me what I want to have, if they can make something for me. And Avinash used to be completely hands-on. No rona dhona in a house at all. uh, no restrictions in a house, ki, she's relaxing, don't do this, don't do that, don't let the pets on the bed, nothing. Everything was normal, and I think that is what kept my morale high. Okay, because life was normal.
Yeah.
Another thing that I did was, the day of the chemo, the first chemo, I shaved my hair, because that is another trauma. We women, uh, it's massive for women. It's massive because this is supposed to be a crowning glory. We don't understand that when we don't have this, life is free. There's no shampoo, there's no conditioner. You are saving so much of money because you're not doing anything over here.
No hair
And
color.
no hair color, no treatments, no spa, nothing. Okay.
Yeah.
See, I'm not saying it's not tough,
Yeah.
but seeing my parents go through this trauma because we are six, right? So they never cut their hair and they lost all the hair during chemo. And for them, it was extremely difficult, very difficult. Okay, we never cut our hair. We are not supposed to cut our hair. And now Babaji's taken, all of it for whatever reason. But
Mm.
anyways, ghar ki kheti hai, it comes back. You lose everything, you gain everything back. It will come
Mm.
very differently.
Yeah.
Every organ in your body will feel extremely different.
Yeah.
It's never the same. For me,
Yeah.
it's been about 5 years now, more
Mm.
than 5 years, 6 years now. I don't have. I'm not on any medication right now,
Mm.
but my body has still not recovered. Okay,
True.
what I was, I'm maybe running at a 60%. So
That is.
it's extremely tough because all your organs get affected. And
Mm.
then what is coming. And I have been through hospitalization so many times that if Avinash wasn't a support, it would have been very difficult. But
Yeah.
again, coming to that, as a caregiver, you have to be very practical, not
Mm.
emotional.
Okay.
Okay, because emotions to हैं, they are not going anywhere. Okay, you're going to feel bad, you're going to feel sad, you're going to feel depressed, you're going to feel anger, you're going to feel frustration, you're going to feel hatred towards the person you are caring for at one point of
Hatred.
time.
How can you afford to
Yes,
be?
when it's like, when you are not able to understand why they are being the way they are.
Mm.
Especially, for example, let's forget about cancer. Let's take patients who have dementia or
Mm.
Alzheimer's, right? Where they can't control their actions. It becomes very difficult. And somewhere the feelings come to the fore. Right now, my father in law is in early stages of dementia, but
Mm.
me and him have never gotten along. Okay, which is okay, which is perfectly fine, because you can't love every person you meet in life, you can't hate every person you meet in life. Some people uh, you really love, some people you can't stand. And with me and him, it's a chemical reaction. We come this close and we actually repel, both of us. It used to actually happen like that. We look at each other and we'll turn away. Both of us. He'll turn that side, I'll turn that side. But now it's with him, because he can't understand, he can't control his feelings at all, and he doesn't like me. Absolutely not. Mutual feeling. So I don't hold it against him at all. But then he gets violent with me.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so he'll hit me with a stick, he'll push me, he's punched me, he's kicked me. Okay, so all of that has happened. And I come this close to, now I'm going to give it back, because I've never ever learned in my life to hold myself back. I've not been taught that, right? But with him,
Mm.
that sliver of understanding comes ki, okay, and it's not that he's an older person. I do not respect people just because they're older than me. Okay, they have to earn respect. That's very clear. Otherwise, we would all be pujofying Hitler because he's older than us. It doesn't happen like that. It doesn't happen, right? It has to come from within. But I
Mm.
respect that he's Avinash's father, right?
Yeah.
And dignity of life, everyone should have.
Yeah.
So I'm the one who's keeping an eye on him all the time, out of
Mm.
whatever, even if it just to crib, look what he's doing right now.
Mm.
But just because of that one particular action of mine, where I'm keeping a track of whether he's come out of his room, whether I can hear him doing his puja, or he's too quiet today. Why hasn't he opened his door? 4 times he's had to be hospitalized. He had fallen in his bathroom. He's had a mini stroke in his bathroom. And
Ouch.
Avinash was busy working, right? And I went and told him, "Manika, he's not been out this time. It's not the time for him to be, in his room. So something is wrong. Go and check." I will not go. If Avinash is at home, I will not go.
True.
Avinash is gone. He's fallen against his bathroom door with a mini stroke, and the door is shut now, and we can't open it, right? Because he's fallen. So this has happened like 2 3 times. uh,
It's traumatic.
yeah, it's very traumatic. And he has an obsession with food,
Mm.
which is, if any money, if even the kids take lunch or dinner before him, he throws his plate. He'll just throw his plate away. Okay, no one can take it, I need it first, I need it first. He has that huge obsession, which is very difficult. As a caregiver, it's extremely difficult.
I
It's
can
very,
imagine.
very difficult. So now we have finally managed to, till now my daughter was at home, so I did not want a male caregiver
Attendant.
for him,
Mm.
a nurse. Okay, I did not want a male around in the house. So me and between my housekeeper, we were taking care of what to do, the food and everything. And he doesn't treat women well, be it
Mm.
anyone. Every woman is a servant for him. He treats them like that. So even if when my mother had come for my deliveries, he would ask my mother, "Get me a glass of water," and I would like lose it completely. Right? He would treat his daughter's mother-in-laws like that. Okay, why
Mm.
haven't you cooked for me? This was after my mom-in-law passed away. Okay, so he's always treated women in a certain way, and again, that kind of doesn't gel with me, right? And but now that we have not a nurse but just a caretaker for him, okay, who's sitting and talking to him. That's another thing. Okay, I'll come to that. Sitting and talking to him, asking him what he wants, and someone at his beck and call, right, during the daytime, he's much happier. So
Yeah.
he's now, there's no tantrum. Otherwise
Mm.
it used to be 2 or 3 a day. He's
Yeah.
throwing things. He's refusing to have something. 2 3 a day, during lunchtime, breakfast time, dinner time, 100% with Avinash, with me, with the housekeeper, everyone. Now he's not doing that at all, which is a huge change. Okay. Another thing what I realized was there, and this is coming back to what we were talking a few days back. Senior citizens especially fall through the cracks. They have built their homes, they have built their wealth, they have helped to build whichever company or wherever they were working. They have raised their kids, they have married off the kids, educated the kids, they've done everything in life. And once the kids get busy, there's no one to talk to them and listen to the stories. That is the crux where senior citizens feel so neglected that they start getting into these issues just for attention grabbing and nothing else. They just want that much attention, and right now frankly no one has the time, right? In the sense, we can make time, but for example, with my husband Avinash, he's the only son, right? Does he give time to his work? Does he give time to his father? Does he give time to his kids? What about his me time? Okay, so he's cut that out completely. So he doesn't have any hobbies that he pursues. He doesn't do exercise. He doesn't do anything that he can focus on. Okay, I get upset if he's giving too much attention to anyone else out of just this entire scenario. Okay, I'm not even talking about friends or he's going pubbing. He doesn't do that. Okay, so how does he, as a caregiver, fit in that time, divide that time between everyone in 24 hours? And what does he do about himself? So his answer is, and that is what happens with most of us, we neglect ourselves, right? कि भाई, we don't have time for ourselves, so we'll stop doing what we used to enjoy doing. We used to enjoy having our nails painted, or be well dressed and well made up all the time, or go out shopping with friends. Now we don't have the time for that. We want to spend it with the kids. We feel guilty otherwise. We want to spend it. So who are we cutting out of our life as caregivers? Ourselves. We never focus on us. And that is what I have learned after my whole experience. And COVID was a big teacher. COVID was a
Mm.
huge teacher for me, especially, and for most of the people who. especially the wives, who wanted their husbands home all the time and कि हमारे बच्चे हमारे साथ घर पे रहें. No, they learned the hard way that not how it works. Schools and offices are much better. Okay. But
I know many who said, "Bas ho gaya."
first lockdown, people were like, when are the schools opening? We can't do this anymore. When are the schools opening? Right?
Yeah,
So,
right.
but that was one of my best times in life, COVID, because I could
Mm,
do in my house what I wanted. Cooking, I tried every, like most women, I tried every cuisine. Okay,
mm.
cooking, cleaning the house. My house used to sparkle. Matlab, eucalyptus oil in the pocha water so that it smells wonderful. All of that I did. But again, because of the other issues around me, and because I had as a person who was looking after my mother-in-law, who was looking after my father-in-law, who was looking after myself, who was looking after my parents to some extent,
Mm,
and marriage in general and kids in particular, right? I had a nervous breakdown. I had a complete mental breakdown. So
mm,
thankfully, we had very few people in our society, and we had very few houses and 15 acres to ourselves. So I could go and scream in any corner of the layout. But I did that. And
mm.
uh,
You're a brave person to acknowledge it.
uh, yeah, no, if I don't acknowledge it, then I will be hiding it from myself. So I would rather it be out in the open, right? And I have banged his car. I have, I mean, alcohol abuse, domestic abuse. Okay, domestic abuse against husbands. Yes, I have done. Okay, so I have been a major part of that. He was talking to a psychiatrist because I refused to go because I have a very addictive personality. I mean, it's not that people get addicted to me. I get addicted to things. Okay, so it could be alcohol, it could be working out, it could be drugs. So
Yeah.
one session I attended with a psychiatrist, and she was very clear. She will put her on this medication. She'll be a zombie, but at least she will not be. Her urges would be suppressed. Okay, so she wouldn't really be moving around the house. You take care of the house, and blah blah blah. I told my husband, Mega, you get those medicines in one breakdown I have. I'm going to take the entire thing, and you know that, right? So let's not
Mm,
buy those medicines. Let's not get it into the house. Let me take this anger out, whatever I'm holding in, and I'll be fine. So yes,
mm,
he was a punching bag, literally.
mm,
But he always told me, "Ki, I'm here. So whatever you want to do, whatever you want to say, say. But I am here. I am not going anywhere." He did take counseling. He did take therapy for himself. We got therapy done for my daughter also because
right.
she became the mother
Yeah.
because I wasn't able to, right? So
Yes.
she was looking after me.
How old was your daughter at the time?
She was 15.
Very
Yeah.
formative, very impressionable
Very,
age.
very, yes. And I don't know whether you believe in these things or not, but she's a very old soul. Okay, so she's
Mm,
not flighty. She's, I wouldn't say responsible. She is very responsible, and that's having pets make the kids very responsible. That is something that I truly believe in. And
mm,
but she's a caretaker. कि I will, mama को look after करना है, papa को look after करना है, I'll do it. So we had to get counseling done for her, where, the counselor made her understand that you are not the mother anymore. So step
I'm
out.
so glad you did that.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm so glad you did that
exactly.
because uh, very often I have spoken with so many people. Very often, family circumstances push young adults to take on adult roles,
Yeah,
and uh, I mean, there's nobody else, so somebody has to do it.
yeah.
Uh, it's a very it's a great learning experience. It's probably a spiritual journey as well, but it's still harsh.
It's
So
very harsh. It's a trauma. It's a trauma, but I still do not regret it. Matlab, I'm sorry about it. Yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
because for me also, it was, I don't know, it wasn't. self pity. I was never in that mode, but I was in a mode where I myself was going through a lot of things. See, the circumstances that have occurred in my life, be it on a personal
Yeah.
front or the childhood and everything, and the cancer has always attacked my femininity, me being a woman, breast cancer, okay, abuse, whatever, everything boiled down to that. So for me to start building myself up again as a woman, to be proud of myself, to be able to acknowledge that I'm also a person to myself, not to anyone else, right? People think I'm fantastic, I'm great, I'm this, I'm that, I'm confident, I'm very social. No, I'm not. I'm a complete introvert. I don't like stepping out of my house. But when I go, I'm a dual personality. Then you wouldn't know that, I don't love talking to people. So it's not like, but what I'm saying is, K, whatever you are, if you accept that, if you firstly understand that and accept it,
Mm,
you will start improving
yeah.
on yourself. You'll start working on yourself. If something needs improving, I needed a lot of work on myself. And वो जो जहर था, it had to go out. And it can't go out just by talking. But that's another thing I used to tell my husband, K, I'm every time I'm coming to talk to you, I'm not blaming you for things. I'm not,
Mm,
nitpicking. Ki, this was your fault. This was your. I just want to say certain things. I want to get it out. Don't
mm.
get defensive. Don't start questioning. Don't start answering. Listen to understand. Don't listen to answer.
I find that very fascinating, Panna, because what I'd like to say right now, what it comes across to me is sometimes as people in general, but caregivers in particular, what I take away from what you just said is uh, we have to build our support systems.
Oh yes.
So, a very important support system is our emotional support system. And sometimes we have to be clear about what we need. And we have to ask people that this is what I need. And we have to educate people around us. So, what I hear you say is that you went to your husband to say, listen, when I'm telling you, I have the need to vent and I need you to listen to me. But if you feel accused, if you feel that I'm blaming you, we won't be able to have this exchange
Yeah.
and it will break down,
True.
right? So it is so important to do this. And many times we are not clear about what we need, or we cannot ask people, or we don't educate people around us. And
Yes.
at every stage, this can break down.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
So,
Absolutely.
so it's a very, very important point that you just made. Thank you.
See, emotional support comes from obviously your family, your immediate family, right? But also, most importantly, from friends who want to be around you when you're going through something, right?
Yeah.
It could be
Yeah.
you're going through something, or it could be that you're looking after someone when
Mm,
things are getting very difficult, right?
right.
It's extremely important. Like I told you earlier, this lady called me because her best friend's husband got diagnosed, right? And the best
Right.
friend is in a tough spot, and this girl is running helter skelter, trying to get second, third, fourth opinions and all. So for me, our group of friends, my group of friends, every chemotherapy, they used to, without a word, they used to be in the hospital, not together. They had a roster system: who's coming with breakfast, who's coming for lunch, who's giving Avinash a break because he also needs to work. Okay, who's going to be spending the night at the hospital if I have to be admitted, and what is happening with the kids at home, what is happening with the pets at home, absolutely without a word. Okay. And they wouldn't just keep messaging, calling, yeah, how are you doing today? What is happening? What is happening? No. Out of the blue, I will get one random WhatsApp message. Are you okay? I was just thinking about you. Okay, that's
So
it.
sweet.
No conversation, no nothing. And from people I did not expect. Okay.
Mm.
Or maybe people who my chemicals were not gelling with their chemicals. Okay. But they used to message me, and people who I considered extremely close cut me off completely for a year. Uh,
I suppose it happens, yeah.
yeah, that happens. And it's okay. Because what we also need to understand is people do not see, unless and until you are in those shoes or you have been there, we
Yeah,
do not understand what another person is going through. We just don't
that is true.
understand. So
That
now I
is
have
true.
made it my mission in life. If I come
Mm.
to know that anyone is going through something, even if it is a stranger who's just reached out to me through some, random group asking for some kind of advice or whatever, I just ask them, "How are you doing today?" Okay, and how are you? And this is something I read. It's very interesting. Okay, when you have to ask someone, "How are you?" always add today, because
Yeah,
today might be better than yesterday, or today
yeah,
might be worse than what it was,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So always ask, how are you doing today, right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
if there is anything I can do.
That's
Generally
right.
people don't ask, but this is another thing I've understood, ke when I've asked people for help, even when I was caregiving, ke Avinash used to travel and my mother-in-law was not well, or I had to travel urgently to Chandigarh to be with my parents. You ask and you shall receive.
Yeah.
हम लोग क्या करते हैं, we don't even ask कि why bother someone, and then we have this whole, because then we have to get into the self pity mode also na, कि see, I'm doing so much, I'm so stressed, I'm so frustrated, everything is happening in my life, which is wrong, which is not right, I did not sign up for this. But we are not asking people, but we are assuming they should have understood. People should have understood what we want,
Yeah, it's
right?
difficult for people to understand.
When I was having parties at my home, everyone would come. Now they can't even bother with one message. They don't understand. So reach
Yeah,
out. As a
yeah,
caregiver, reach out. As a caregiver, have a circle. Have a circle at least for 1 hour. Try to take the time out every
right.
single day. It's very important for your mental peace.
I think what is valuable, Panna, is I think as caregivers or as you look back on your caregiving journey, it is very important to have their emotional support structure, not just family, but especially friends, and there are sometimes friends are not able to step up to our expectations. Um we just let them be, and that's fine. But there are some who do, and uh, and that's precious and that's beautiful. It's
Yes.
it's useful for us to have friends who care for us. But I also think that the key point is asking for what you want.
Very important. Very important. See, when
Yeah,
friends don't, some friends who do not step up, again, like I said, now I have started working on this motto. Um, Put yourself in their place. Would you do it?
yeah,
How many times do you reach out?
yeah,
How many times, or do you look for excuses? Ki, yaar, aaj to I have too many calls. Oh my God, this
yeah,
important meeting. How do I shift this? I
yeah,
can't. I have to travel. So how do
yeah,
I do it? And right.
yeah.
So a very interesting incident. A couple days back, one of my brother-in-laws was in India, and the moment he flew out of India, his mama ji, who's a single guy and who never married and all, he went to the hospital for a regular checkup, and he had complete blockage. So they had to do an
Ouch.
immediate surgery. I think 4 stents or something they had to put.
Oh my God.
And my other sister and her husband were in Paris, dropping her daughter off there for college. And only her
Mhm.
son was out of the family, entire family, only her son, who's 20, was in Mohali. So they reached out to him, "Ki, can you go? Because he's in the ICU, surgery ho gayi hai, and he's in the ICU and there was no one around." This boy stepped up. He went twice every single day till he got discharged and kept reporting that this is happening, this is happening, this is happening. And this is on top of taking care of his two pet dogs also, because he's taking care of the house over here. and his college and everything. But if you
20
don't
years.
ask, yeah. But then I also told my sister, Menka, you know what? Thank him. Because we think, the other person will understand how thankful we are. No, say it, say it. It's important that we utter, right?
Yeah,
Appreciation. If you, even randomly on the road, if you see someone and you like how they're looking, you like what they're wearing, you like the car they're sitting in, just go and randomly compliment them. It
yeah,
changes a lot of things. It changes a lot
yeah,
of
for
things. And
sure.
I'm a big believer in that.
No, for sure, for sure. I think we watch those little stories that come our way about how, one good deed and paid forward and it just changes the
Yes.
world. But it's a good reminder. It's a good reminder to practice it on a daily basis.
Because tomorrow we might all be in the same situation. We are all getting older. We are not getting younger, right? We will need some caregiving. We will
Mm,
need, so understand. Now,
mm,
as you cross 40s, you have to start changing your mindset also, right?
mm,
You have to be more empathetic. You have to be more compassionate, even if you were not earlier. You have to do that because
yeah,
I'm not talking about कि सीधा spirituality की तरफ चले जाओ और जैसे कहते हैं ना कि पहले in our times our parents moms used to कि now we are 40 45 now we'll only do bhajan kirtan and attend all these jagratas and stuff. I'm not mata ki chauki and all. No, I'm not talking about that कि तीर्थ यात्रा ही करनी है. What I'm talking about is कि be more understanding towards everyone around you because ultimately even if no one is sick at home, we are still caring for each other. So,
no,
right from the time we enter adulthood, 17, 18 years old, we are caregivers,
yeah,
right? One point or the other, we are taking care of people, other
yeah.
humans, and other humans are taking care of us.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, absolutely. We are caregivers all the time, and we are not just caregivers to other human beings. We are caregivers to other sentient animals, climate, nature, and we give and receive so much. It's important to be aware of that. One of the things that you spoke so comfortably and easily about and has struck me was, the emotional roller coaster that caregiving can be. We live in a society in which caregiving is seen as a certain, gold standard. Um, you just have to be always present for the other. There is a certain expectation of who a good caregiver is. But you spoke very comfortably about quote unquote negative emotions that you feel when you are a caregiver. I'd
Absolutely.
like for you to think about your experience of the many people that you have cared for and talk about an anecdote, an incident when you felt intense negative emotions and what did you do about it?
So intense negative emotions have always. My pain point is my father-in-law. Okay, he inspires me to start different kind of businesses just to be out of the house. But I have extremely intense, very negative emotions towards him.
Right.
Okay, in the sense that I, even though I want to, and I genuinely want to look after him, but I can't.
Mm, mm.
Okay. Now, in the sense, I have packed his suitcase a couple of times when he's not getting the message across that he's not supposed to, say, for example, hit the maid.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay. So multiple maids, multiple times, so that he's not supposed to do that. He doesn't get the message across. I've taken out his suitcase. I've packed his stuff. I said, okay, let's go put you in an old age home or a senior citizen,
Mm,
uh, place, and you can't be here. If you don't know how to respect women, or even treat them right. Okay, you don't respect them, forget about it, treat them right. So my emotions regarding him are extremely negative. Okay,
Understood.
bordering on hatred, if not hatred. I would to actually step onto the other side, but if I want to, and it's okay. I don't find myself to. I don't, in my head. My self talk is not, "You, you're such a bad person."
Mm,
According to relatives, I might be, but
mm,
that's okay. Then please come, step up,
mm,
right? People don't do that. People like talking. That's what, I want. The message I want the caregivers to, whoever is listening, or to me, or and you, is that it's absolutely fine if you can't do something, or if you don't like the person.
mm,
Okay, even in a marriage, it's not important to love, because beyond a point of time, when you live together for so many years, love goes out of the window. Okay, it is extremely important that you at least like each other. For
yeah.
me, liking is way higher than love. Love तो
Yeah.
हम आते जाते we, oh I love you, oh I love you, oh I love you. Love is such a well used word. Okay, it's a currency.
Right.
आप दोगे,
Yeah.
आपको जल्दी जल्दी कुछ कुछ मिल जाएगा. So
Oh,
it's not effective. Liking is,
yeah.
do you like the person, right?
Mm,
I don't like him, uh, but simply for my husband's mental peace of mind, I
mm.
do not want to put him in any kind of a uh,
Dilemma.
dilemma, or rather he'll do, because
Yeah.
he wants to keep peace also. And
Yeah.
I can get extremely agitated with things,
Yeah.
with the way my father-in-law is behaving. But I don't want him to be a position to start feeling guilty about what he could not
Yeah.
do. See,
Yeah.
God gives us everything in life. He's given us a lot, he's given us everything, right?
Yeah.
But सब कुछ तो नहीं मिलता. Somewhere in one part you lack. Now,
Yeah.
if I can help him avoid that particular part, one part, why wouldn't I? Right?
Yeah.
So for that, I have to put up with the nuisance. Yes, that's okay. But now I have three barriers between him and me. It's my husband, it's the caretaker, and it's my maid. And then I come, right?
Yeah.
And that has helped a lot. Some
I
people
think
say,
what it really points to is recognizing and being honest or being authentic with, what is the state of the
yeah,
nation? What is the state of the relationship? And
exactly.
then saying, okay, what's going to be best
Hmm.
for the other person and me and other people involved? So if there can be a semblance of balance where it is
Right.
okay for everyone, I
Yes.
suppose that's what compassion is, right? The
Yeah.
compassion is that it is kind to everybody involved.
Hmm.
And I'm so grateful for you to say this so openly, because it can be such a taboo to be able to say that, oh my God, looking after our older people is our duty, and people who have cared for us and brought us up, and we should have this, that, and the other. That is true. I'm not denying that. But there could also be situations that don't necessarily easily translate.
And
And
that is, exactly, that is where women feel so oppressed by the whole system. Okay, we have to look after the
yeah,
elderly, especially in laws,
yeah,
and we can't speak negatively about them to
yeah,
anyone, because it will
yeah,
reflect badly on us, right?
yeah.
But
And
again,
what I find very nice is you didn't necessarily speak badly about the person. You said the situation
yeah,
doesn't gel with me. So I think the point is also to be able to not bracket or label the person, but also talk about the situation.
right,
The situation is between the two people. It's not
exactly.
one or the other.
So I have always maintained this, okay, this one stand, that me and him, obviously, we don't like each other, right? But that doesn't mean I'm a bad person or he's a bad person, right? It
Yeah,
just means we don't get on at all.
yeah,
So, but situation is, God has put us in a this thing, and him also, because it's very difficult for him also. on the other
I
side,
could imagine.
right?
Yeah.
It's extremely difficult as a old person where you can't hear very well, you are not very
Yeah.
mobile, and you are always tense ki bhai, is she going to throw me out of the house? That could also be a fear that he has,
Yeah.
right? Because I
Yeah.
have tried to I have warned him a few times about that. If you don't
Yeah.
behave, this is what is going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Those were extreme circumstances because the action was also extreme. Jiska
Sure.
reaction tha. But I will not apologize for that
Yeah.
because it was as per the situation,
Sure.
and I don't need to apologize for that, right?
Right.
And the person doesn't need to apologize to me for anything also, but
Yeah.
or be grateful, because it's
Yeah.
a house, we have to live together. This is what a marriage is ultimately. This is what relationships are. Even if you're not married, it's a relationship. This is
Sure.
what you do. Ultimately, you look after each other, whether you like it or whether you don't like it. Life, you adjust, right? You
Yeah.
compromise on certain things,
Yeah.
but dignity.
Prana, there was another question that I had, and I'm so grateful that you are articulate and you put it nicely, because sometimes you can misunderstand a picture, that, oh, this means this, so let me make a meaning. So no, no, it's more complex than that. But you had mentioned, your mother-in-law having a stroke when your son was really young. And I
Mhm.
found it particularly striking that you said, I wanted to be a role model of a certain kind, so that, we often say children don't follow what we say, they see what we do.
Yes.
Uh, so, um, Interestingly, you mentioned caregiving to everybody, but you didn't mention your role as a parent.
Hmm.
Uh, and I have been curious since that point
Okay.
for you to juxtapose the two types of caregiving, or three types of caregiving, in which it is caregiving to a growing child, caregiving to an ill person, and caregiving to an older a person aging.
Okay.
How are they similar or different? What's your experience?
So for me, and this is something that I have spoken about, I have thought about, uh,
Mm,
because at the end of the day, I want to understand myself, right? Why do I
right,
feel how I feel? So my son was very small when my mom-in-law had a stroke, right? And
right.
for the year that she was bedridden,
Mm,
I was doing everything for her that I was doing for my son, changing
mm,
diapers, feeding. The
mm,
only difference was there were two differences. One was he was a baby and she was an adult,
yeah.
and second difference was he was mobile and she was not,
Mm,
right? And it was so heartbreaking. That was a really heartbreaking experience for me, because I used to make sure okay, my son would sit next to me when I'm feeding, and the feeding used to be through the tube obviously, but at least experience certain things. Ki how do you treat people who cannot help themselves? And again, coming back to I have always learned through my parents and through my community about seva, right?
yes.
It's not just karma, but whatever you do, generations after you are going to either be thankful or curse you.
Mm,
Okay, क्योंकि वो karma is going to flow down. It's through the
yeah.
mothers, it flows, right? And it's going to flow down. And then my son and my daughter also saw, in fact, both my sisters also, their kids also, all these six kids saw the different challenges with my parents when they were
Mm,
being looked after. Because like I told you, they were extremely opinionated. Okay, they had to have
mm,
things their way even when they couldn't do anything themselves.
mm,
And how much compassion it takes to
mm,
actually take care of one person who's not well at home.
yeah.
Okay. And Because of that, all these six kids in our family, my side of the family, are extremely empathetic. Matlab,
Mm.
you tell them that my leg is hurting, they'll come and they'll start massaging. Okay. You tell them anything, okay, I'm not feeling well today, and they'll come, they'll ask you, do you want medication? Do you want something? Should I go and get something? So otherwise,
Mm.
it's not ke, they are not the kids on the mobile, they are on the mobile all the time, but they take time out. Right? They
Yeah.
have been very, very compassionate. Now, coming to being a pet parent. So, one of our pets is now not mobile. So he
Wow.
pees and poops. And that is another comparison. I'm not being insensitive over here, but whatever we are. So this red retriever of ours, Fido, he was adopted, obviously, and since the past about almost a year now, he's not been able to use his back legs, hind legs. Okay, so we take him on a sling everywhere. So he wants to stay up, he wants to stay down, wherever he wants to be around us. So ऊपर नीचे होता है. You clean his poop, you clean his pee, and everything. And the
Mm.
same thing is parallelly happening with my father-in-law. Right now he's on diapers. He is able to, thankfully, not require that much of physical help. But
Yeah.
sometimes, and I have spoken to my husband about this, um, it's so conflicting that whatever we are doing for Fido, we are doing for Papa, right? Or whatever we are doing for Papa, we are doing for Fido. But the feelings that you have while you are doing for one versus the other is so different.
Mm.
With our Fido, it's like, beta, don't worry. सोचो हो गया कोई बात नहीं अभी clean करते हैं रात को he'll wake me up 3 times. Okay, he sleeps at the foot of my bed and he'll wake me if he's pooped or something or if he wants water. And I'll wake up without this thing. "Eh, फिर से उठा दिया क्यों उठाया?" Right? I need to sleep. I have an early morning. Nothing doing. Not a,
Mm.
मतलब not even a thought in the head.
Mm.
Me or Avinash, we wake up, we give him water. He needs to change sides because he gets sores. We do all of that. With my father-in-law, that entire feeling, because of the way he reacts to things, or
Mm.
the way maybe he's always been as a person, and which is coming out now, the reactions,
Mm.
our reactions are very different,
Mm.
right? And
Mm.
again, over here also, our kids are watching us. There have been times when I have really lost it and I've said, "Okay, just take me out of this whole circle right now for some time because otherwise it's not going to end well." Right?
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
been that frustrated and they have always told me, "You calm down, go have a
Mm.
drink." Okay, Mama, go have a drink. Listen to your music. Go listen to the music. If Tata says anything, we'll go down and we'll talk to him. He wants anything,
Right.
we'll provide. Okay, so they have
Yeah.
learned to put themselves between me and him uh,
Yeah.
to create a kind of space between us because
Yeah.
see, who wants conflict at home? I'm sure even
Yeah.
my father-in-law doesn't want. He wants a happy life. Right now, he's happy because he's getting that attention that he was seeking.
Yeah.
And at this age, that's all you want.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Um, no, it was very important, and I really like the point that you make because in many settings, I try to talk to people and I say, you cannot teach empathy or compassion in a classroom.
Yeah.
It has to be an experience. It has to be your environment. It has to be role modeling. It has to be something that you have practiced and done over a period of time,
Yes.
that you build your muscles of empathy and compassion. And, intergenerational homes or homes that have some kind of challenge or illness
Hmm.
lend themselves to building these skills.
Yes. True.
A home that doesn't have this challenge uh, doesn't have the opportunity to build these skills.
That
And
is
these are,
why. Joint families were so important.
That's what and these are things that we are losing.
Hmm.
And we see at a large scale, at society, at a larger scale, there is a compassion deficit.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Uh, and well, this is a conversation that we could have for a very long time. You are a very open and articulate person who is willing to share. And we are grateful for that. And share not just the the beautiful part of caregiving, but the difficult and dark part. And I think that's important too. So very, very grateful, Panna,
Thank you
for
so much for having me.
for bringing alive so many aspects and for sharing your story.
Thank you.
We see you.
Yes, absolutely. I hope this helps someone out there.
It does. And let me assure you, it does. We uh, we see you. We are grateful for you. Thank you for being you and bringing all of this together. And thank you for the warrior you are.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was wonderful being here and talking about it. It's a release.
Yeah. Thank you. What are your wishes for caregiver Saathi? And we will close this.
My wishes for caregiver Saathi is that I hope we can organize something for the caregivers. A break, a one
Yeah.
hour, 4 hours, 8 hours, or 2 days, a weekend, something.
Yeah.
I am on board for that because they need it.
Yeah.
They really need that break to be able to understand what they're going through and have the space to look after themselves. That's what it's
Beautiful.
missing. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Let's keep celebrating the unseen strength of gentle warriors who are all around us and yet are the invisible backbone. Thank you for watching this episode of Conversations with Gentle Warriors. Caregiving may be unseen, but it is a powerful force holding lives together. If you're a caregiver, a carer, or someone who may not have thought of themselves as a caregiver, but you are worried and concerned about someone's well being, know that you are not alone. And if you're listening as an ally, think about how you can help make caregiving more visible, valued, and supported. Do like, subscribe, and share with people who might be able to relate, who might be able to find inspiration and find connection because care is all around us and caregivers are all around us.